sports, anime,
media entertainment.
The whole world, look around you. Look at this. We created this.
Welcome back. This is the same convo. We talk everything sports, anime, media, and entertainment. I'm Kenny. I'm back with Bomba and Carlil. All right, this is the sports segment. Before I get into my main topic, I want to just touch on something that we talked about last week. The Lakers are officially out of the play-in tournament. I called it. Bomba said it. Carlil, did you have hope? Were you the one that still had hope?
I feel like I did have hope, but off camera, it ended shortly.
Yeah, man. You would think a team with LeBron, AD, Russell Westbrook, and Melo would just dominate the league, bro.
And in 2013, yes, because that's the last time. I think somewhere between 2013 2015 is the last we've seen like a good Melo, basically. Somewhere between those years, because like since then he's been a great like role player, side player off the bench. Like OKC and Rockets years, he was all right, but then remember that year and a half he was missing from the league, and and then last, like I said, a good like Melo that led a team and was like a factor. I don't think we've seen that since 2013, 2015.
I think that was the Rockets and Portland.
I
Yeah, and
think that was the Knicks. Portland was just Portland before he came to the Lakers.
Before the Rockets, it was OKC. Remember, because he was with Russ.
OKC, he was fine.
He was with Russ.
Not in 2013, no.
He was with Russ.
Not in 2013. 2013 is with the Knicks still, I believe.
Yeah, he was still with the Knicks.
But I just want to touch on that. So what do y'all think is gonna happen now? People are asking like how you could grade LeBron's performance this season. What would you give him?
If I can grade, I said LeBron. If I can grade LeBron's performance, bro, I would give him an A+. Like, you're asking a 37-year-old in year 19 to average 30 points, bro. And
He never did that.
And let me toss another stat at you off the top, and I know this off the top of my head. Since the All-Star break, they've been 4-16, right? In those 4 games that they won, LeBron has averaged 45 points. So it takes LeBron averaging 45 points to at least get you 4 wins out of 20. Right, bro, that's insane. And I'm gonna try to go through this quick real. So we've seen LeBron elevate a team that on paper looks worse than this team. What I'm talking about, the 2018-2019 Cavs. For sure. Their starting lineup was George Hill, J.R. Smith, LeBron, Kevin Love, and Tristan Thompson. On paper versus the starting 5 of this Lakers team, terrible. Role players, terrible. Not as much I understand this Lakers team's older, but not as much experience. You got several championship experience with several players on that team. You got 6 to 7 Hall of Famers on one team. The problem is
6 to 7?
AD, LeBron, Rondo, Carmelo, Dwight, DeAndre Jordan, and
Rondo's not on the team anymore.
I'm saying like starting off. So you had at least 6 to 7.
Is DeAndre Jordan a Hall of Famer?
That one's debatable. But let me keep going because I don't want to take too much time. But what I'm saying that to say is LeBron, you can't expect this man to elevate in year 19. But also, it's not even that we can't expect him to elevate. And that 2018 Cavs team that I was just talking about, LeBron was averaging close to a triple-double over the course of the season. This season, LeBron is averaging 38 and 6. His assists have been at the lowest it's been, like, I think, for his career. I'm pretty sure. but that's also because his teammates they're not producing at all. Like you can literally look up YouTube videos of the Lakers in back to back sequences of LeBron passing a teammate a ball and then missing an open shot. It's just I give him an A+ just because he's been trying his best. Like he's literally pushing himself. And then he just put up 38 points the other night, and he's coming off of a turned ankle. Like we're all athletes. We've all done that before. That's not an easy, like, to play through that. Yes, you have adrenaline, but afterwards, your ankle look like a golf ball in a sock, bro.
Especially if you're 6'9", 230.
230. And wait, hold on. He looks heavier than he does that he's been in past years. That man's at least 260 right now.
260.
That man's at least 260 right now. So that's just that's my whole point. I think he deserves an A+ for the season. It's going to suck because no matter how good he's played this season, he's probably going to get all NBA second team. That sucks.
I think I'm gonna have to agree with Carlito on that. I mean, like we've said, this man was the leading scorer until yesterday? Joel Embiid just passed him because he's not playing. And like Carlito said, he's been playing on injuries over injuries. Like this man has come back every time and then miss game the next day. Like he's had to go above and beyond to secure certain games. And really, what can you really do when you have it's not just Russell Westbrook, for example, that we're going to talk about, but it's been a lot of pieces that just not been working. And really, we addressed this the last episode, I think, like with the starting, like how many starts they be having. Like Frank Vogel has had a different starting roster every single fucking game, and with that, you cannot really get chemistry going. A lot of people cannot really get accustomed to it. I feel like a player like THC before. He does a lot. THC, like a lot of his issues in the past, was finishing. Like he could create shot and shit like that. Like that's why we liked him so much. But finishing, that's sometimes like where he'll have a hiccup and shit like that. But lately, he has just not been seeing shit, and I feel like that's because he can't get the ball in his hand. It's just a lot of players. It's just not going to happen. Nobody can get in the rhythm. Malik Monk was showing him at some point during the season, but then at some point, if you take him out of the roster for no out of the starting lineup for no reason at all, it's gonna mess up with your mind. And you're like, okay, what did I do wrong? Like, what's going on? And like at some point, that might break you. That might make you waver. But Brown has been solid from the get go. I mean, he's had one or two games maybe that weren't that solid, but at the end of the day, you can't be flawless. But he has been very close to it. So I definitely got to give him like an A+.
I definitely agree. I don't see how you can hate on LeBron in any way. His performance when he was the leading scorer. He's been the only consistent player on the Lakers this season. It's just unfortunate that Russell Westbrook has had his worst season in his career this season. AD has been injured for the majority of the season. And Melo's just Melo's only a shadow of his former self. Same thing with Dwight. So he just didn't have the pieces around him. But his performance still deserves an A+. All right, so now we're going to get to the main topic. So while we're talking about LeBron, there's been some controversial remarks made towards him by Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, NBA Hall of Famer, current all-time leading scorer in the league. For those who don't know what Kareem had to say, when asked how he felt about LeBron's play and about him potentially passing his scoring record, Kareem made statements saying that, like, pretty much showing disdain for the things LeBron has said. And we know the things that LeBron has said has only been in regards to social justice, currently at least. Unless he's talking about I'm going to take my time to South Beach, and that's old as shit at this point, and you should get over that. And I still don't see no problem with what he said with I'm taking my time to South Beach. That's what he did. He did it in order to further his legacy because at the time the Cleveland Cavaliers were just wasted his career. He didn't want to waste his career in his youthful ages. But yeah, Kareem showed a lot of distaste for what LeBron has done with his platform, being one of the greatest basketball players of all time, the current best basketball player in the world. And I just want to know what you guys have to say about that.
So, Bomba, you want to go or?
Yeah, let me go first.
I got you. I got you.
So I feel like a lot of people are not gonna like this, but I feel like Kareem is just salty. If I can be honest, I feel like Kareem is salty, and Kareem is salty because if anybody from our generation really knows about Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, it might be because of that spot he's securing as a leading scorer of all time. Because I don't think a lot of people got to watch him really. A lot of people might remember him just because you see iconic highlights from the Lakers and stuff, but you don't really remember a big chunk of this generation don't remember Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and nobody would have been really curious to look back at who he is if it wasn't for that leading scorer. And I feel like just passing him, Bron passing him, kind of puts a shadow over what he's accomplished in the league. And I feel like, if I can be honest, I just feel like that's what's getting under his skin. Because we listen to Bron. We see how Bron conducts himself. And honestly, he's the prime example in this league. I'm not saying one of the prime. He's the prime example in this league. When that fight happened during the season between Bron and, it's not even a fight. Bron tried to cool it down. People try to make the most out of it because that's the worst you've ever seen, from LeBron. And he didn't do it on purpose. Thanks. So you feel me? You know what I'm saying? It's very hard to find anything wrong that he has done. And like Kenny said, he has not really pointed to anything that Bron necessarily said. And that's making it harder to really figure out what's going on. Because really listening to it, I was listening to it earlier, and I could not necessarily find the point that he's making. It's just up in the air. So
yeah,
that's really what's making me.
I found the direct quote. Kareem says some of the things he's done and said are really beneath him, as far as I can see. Some of the things he's done, he should be embarrassed about.
But what things? That's what I'm saying.
So, let me give it 10 seconds. Hey, 10 seconds exactly. A little bit 15. Hold on, Mama, you good? Wait, let him connect to the audio, and I'll just edit this up.
Oh, God.
I heard you was a gangster. Not one to try to say, but I'm gonna just edit this all out because it's gonna be a bitch to just end the recording and then start it again.
Yeah. Carlo, you're now right here, right? I'm pointing at you.
No, I'm still in the same spot.
Y'all think about my bad.
No, you good. You good. You all right. All right, but to get back in the topic, to piggyback off of what Bomba was saying, especially with the part where LeBron's the standard in the NBA. Not only the standard in the NBA, but LeBron's the standard of a modern day athlete. When you think of out of all the athletes today in America, in the world for real, you got our national figures, LeBron, Tom Brady, and then international figures such as Cristiano Ronaldo, Messi. Out of just the standard in sports, it's definitely LeBron. LeBron is not only held at a high standard, but he delivers every time. Of course, none of us know LeBron personally, how he talks in his personal life and things like that, and how he associates with people, how he associates with his kids. But what he's been doing in the media and off the court is just unbelievable, especially for his home community. And so I just think it's hard to really criticize anything that he says off the court or try to claim that things that he does off the court is beneath him, because I really can't even think something that LeBron has said remotely that was questionable. It's like he jokes out on Twitter, but everybody jokes on Twitter. He's never crossed any type of line. He's been supportive father, loyal husband, elite basketball player, elite activist. Like, what is there? Like, what has he really said or done to make you mad? So I kind of agree with Bamba, where he's like, I really think Kareem. It's funny that it's just now, like, out of all the years LeBron's been in the NBA since 2003, even he was in the media in high school. So for that span of time till now, why are you just now making comments? And y'all know those criticisms came out of left field because he was asked a question. Those criticisms came off a night where he was giving Carmelo Anthony a humanitarian award for his volunteer work off the court. And he was not asked a question about LeBron James. And then he makes that comment and veers it toward. But when nobody was thinking of that at all, but you took it there yourself. And when I've been watching Undisputed First Take, KJM, like what everybody thinks is because of the comments he made about COVID. I think it was either during the bubble season or sometime last year where he posted a meme of, y'all know, like the three Spider-Mans pointing at each other and it said COVID, cold, and flu. And like he was just poking fun because like I guess that was basically the time where it was just kind of confusing on what people had. And he was just, kind of making light of the situation. But even then, like that small situation is really like what has you that butthurt, And so for Kareem, I really think, and I don't know this for a fact, but I feel like if they haven't had a chance to do this, they really need to kind of sit down and just talk about great to great, Hall of Famer to Hall of Famer. Just have a conversation because at the end of the day, there's nothing LeBron does in the media in today's society that should be offending Kareem Abdul-Jabbar or have Kareem Abdul-Jabbar look at him in a negative light. Like, this is like one of the most positive influences ever as a athlete, as a man, as a black man. He is inspirational and influential. Like, I don't see where that, even if he have made a joke about COVID, there's a lot of people that have made jokes about COVID. I'll make a joke about COVID right now. I won't, but y'all get the point. I'm sorry. That was
I think LeBron's track record speaks for itself. Like, how could you even try to find yourself to hate on a man who grew up with a single mother household, never knew his father, got it out the mud, and came to the league, had the hopes, the dreams, the hopes of a whole state, city on his shoulders as a rookie. Came through, balled his ass off since day one. And even though he's been in the media's eye since the age of 18, he's never faltered. He's never faltered. He's always been solid in the media. No scandals. Beautiful wife, beautiful family. What do you say? I'll knock it out of the park. But yeah, like the biggest controversy LeBron has ever had was going to play for a better team. Oh, I'm sorry. That's it. He made a business decision.
Man, you got me with scrubs, bro. My second best player is Zildronis Ilgauskas. Oh, my fault.
Y'all know who Gary Owens is?
Yeah.
Bob, you know who Gary Owens is?
Who?
Gary Owens.
He's a short.
He's a white comedian. He's not sure he's a white comedian.
I know comedian. Yeah.
This man said, "I don't blame LeBron for going to Miami. He's like, I've been to Cleveland and I've been to Miami." He said Miami's like Beyonce and Cleveland's like Precious. He said, I don't want to fuck Precious no more.
I mean, look, I'm from Ohio. I've been to Cleveland numerous amount of times, and I've been to Miami. I agree with Gary Owen.
Miami is a superior place to be.
The first few years in Cleveland, my second best player was Zildronis Ilgauskas. My last year before I left, who was my second best? Anderson Varejao, the NBA Carlito. Are you serious? Like, yeah, I was supposed to stay there. Yeah, who was after Drew Gooden? Drew and Larry Hughes. Come on now, bro. You can't nobody.
Delonte West and Mo Williams.
Delonte. That's another topic for another day. Let me tell you, because I just recently learned like a few months ago about the issue with Delonte West and LeBron. We need to talk about that. That was
learned about that.
I promise
you just learned about that.
I promise you, I did.
There is no way.
Because I told you, I always watch Undisputed, and for some reason, there's sometimes when Skip Bayless brings up the fact that LeBron had to be sedated in the 2008 playoffs when they went against the Celtics, and he had a great game too, but then he melted down the rest of the series, and because he had to be sedated because of a locker room issue, then I searched that. It was because Delonte West apparently did what he did. Not going to do that, even though we're a small platform and they probably not going to see this, but I ain't going to disrespect my GOAT or my GOAT's mother. But yeah, we're going to talk about.
Let's stay on topic. Okay.
Yeah, let's do.
So let's move on. Since we're talking controversies, let's move on to this next one. So I Am Athlete, another very famous podcast, very popular. But this is football now. These are football players on their podcast. So let's talk about Channing Crowder, former Miami Dolphins linebacker. I don't remember any of his highlights. I don't remember him as a player, honestly. I didn't know who he was. But people don't know who I am, so who am I to say anything? So let's just move on to what I'm about to say. He has some words about another NFL player, Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson, NFL Hall of Famer, one of the all-time greatest mobile quarterbacks. Should have been a double Super Bowl ring winner, but we're not going to talk about that.
He got more than Channing.
He should have two. He does have more than Channing. Yeah, he should have two, but we're not going to talk about that. So the controversy that I'm getting at is Channing Frye made a comment that said if he didn't have all that money, Ciara wouldn't be with him. You don't leave a guy like Future for a guy like Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson is square. Every girl, every woman has a type. You don't leave Future for a guy like Russell Wilson. And I had some strong opinions about this statement that he made. But I'm just the bringer of the topic. I will let you guys talk about it first. Carlo went first last time, so Bomber, you got anything you want to say?
So, like you said, when I first saw the video, my first thought was, who is he? Like, what have you done? Like, what allows you to be able to sit here and like talk about Russell Wilson? Because in my opinion, I feel like Russell Wilson is probably like most of what you would want to be. Man's is successful. One of the best athletes in football right now. One of the best quarterbacks. He has hella money. I mean, he's a good father. So far from what we've seen, he seems to be a good husband because Ciara looks happy. So really, what makes him a square? Probably because he's not just that hard figure that people really want to use. But I feel like, he got his home, he got his wife, he got his kids. He is successful at his job. I mean, the attention is on him. So really, what else would he want to? I feel like he's everything you want to be. Yeah. And then you talking about nobody gonna leave Future and talk, bruh, Future. Nigga got like what, 9 baby mothers? So really, what is she really? She has a lot to tolerate when it comes to Future. So really, the two situations do not match up at all. From what I've seen so far, she looks happy as shit. And he's talking about being a square. That's the same dude that I showed y'all the video from the other week. He was talking about being a cat on the porch and his wife being an old lady. That's him.
Yeah.
You talking about being square, nigga?
Yeah.
Go back to the porch. Like, what are you talking about?
This man, bro, he's that they role playing game. What did I ask this man Kitty the last time? I said, Kitty, bro. I ain't gonna ask it on a recorded question, but bro, bro, that's you are okay with just admitting that on camera. Like you play a nice little cat for role play.
Yeah.
And then you're talking about types too. Like, you don't know Ciara per se. Like, it's like you had a conversation with her or something. Like, you just sit down and have that conversation. No. So who are you to randomly just sit down and talk about, oh no, Ciara, this and that? No, you don't know. Shut up. Let's normalize shutting up. When you don't have nothing better to say, just be quiet. It's okay. Just because you're on a podcast doesn't mean that you gotta run your mouth.
Right.
What'd you say, Carlo?
So I agree with Bombo on everything he's saying, and I feel like we'll reach a mutual consensus unless someone wants to play devil's advocate. But as far as Channing Crowder's statement, like I can understand what he was trying to get at, like Future, in society is supposed to be that, cool dude, you feel me? Like, a man that ladies want, a man that ladies, go after and things like that. And Russell Westbrook, stand-up guy, but he's a square because he's a stand-up guy. Like, one, I think we need to eliminate that narrative because we got a lot of stand-up men that are good men. And just because they're good men doesn't make them squares. Like that, and that's the thing. Like, what makes Russell Wilson a square? You feel me? Like, I consider the three niggas on this screen squares. Yes, we are stand-up gentlemen, but we also, our favorite pastime to do in our free times on Wednesday night is argue about anime, bro. These are some squares right here. These niggas, Khalil, Kenny, and Bamba, they're squares for sure.
As far as I'm concerned, I'm a fucking circle, my nigga.
No, I'm just kidding for real, but no, in all seriousness, bro, it's just like the stigma that Future sets, like he is okay with being toxic, being the toxic king, like, and that's popular on social media, and like people joke about it every day and all day, but real women don't want that for real, and they tell us every day. It gets tiring, but they let us know every day. I want this kind of man. I want this man to do this. This man, even after the Channing Crowder stuff get out, what are we seeing on Twitter now? Give me a square then. I want a square. You feel me? Like, it's just like I don't understand where. I don't know. Again, I don't think Channing Crowder, like Bamba said, he's never. Again, I'm going to assume he's never had a direct conversation with Ciara. Yeah, I mean, him and Russell Wilson been in the NFL, so he's probably came across Russell Wilson a few times at events and things like that. But like, what exactly makes Russell Wilson a square? The fact that like he's not toxic, the fact that he don't smoke weed, the fact that he don't do drugs. Again, the fact that he's not a rapper. Like, this man is a black man, a football player. This man has been a good father, a great stepfather. Let's remember that. He always making the point to take a picture, whenever a family picture is taken, to have Future's kids in there, and that's a dope man. Like, just because he's not Future, that makes him square. Like, what the key difference between Future I just named, like, just because I don't know if these weren't. Let me say this: if Future, I want to reverse Channing Crowder's statement. If Future didn't have money, Ciara would not want him, would have never dated him. And that's a fact. I feel like that's more of a fact than the Russell Wilson thing. Because if you take a guy like Russell Wilson and Future and compare them to people in today's society and strip them of their money, I'm pretty sure more women will want the Russell Wilson instead of having to deal with the Future. That's my take on it. Take.
Also, bro, let's not forget that fucking Ciara was I mean, she was out of here like being a fucking baddie. Nigga wanted Ciara for a minute, so it's not like she actually chased or did a lot of chasing with this shit. I don't think so. Like, and she also had her money. Let's not forget about that. It's okay. It's also okay for you to want somebody because they got more money. That ain't a problem.
Yeah, I'm gonna echo what my other host said. I definitely agree. I don't remember what the other host of I Am Athlete said, but he did say something. He said women want peace.
Yeah.
Future was not bringing Ciara any peace at all. If I'm not mistaken, he cheated on her several times. Clearly doesn't take care of his child. That's been an issue that's been well known in the media. Sure, a lot of women crush on Future. Future gets a lot of women. Future has money. No woman. At least I don't believe any sane woman, any woman who has respect for herself and values for herself, would want a man that's going to disrespect them, one that's going to have them bury their child and then not take care of them, one who's going to advertise themselves as toxicity and uphold that in their relationship. I don't see a woman wanting that type of chaos in their life. Sure, Future has money, Future has status, but that only gets you so far. Russell Wilson also has money and status. Russell Wilson might have more money than Future, honestly, because he's got endorsements. He's getting a steady income no matter what. Because that's one of the top quarterbacks of all. Well, I won't say all time, but currently in the league. And Russell Wilson's a good Christian man. Takes care of his family. I don't see how you can hate on that. I don't see what's square about being an upstanding man. That's what I'm saying.
He literally used to post video, like Ciara used to like talk about on social media how one thing that her and Russell Wilson do, like Russell Wilson started making her pray with him.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, what? Like it's just like you can have your personal, like I understand if you're not a Christian or you think that's, but like how can you hate on that? Like this is a man that is trying to not. He has a. I'm not going to say stressful life, but I want to say like that he has a career that he constantly needs to put in work off the field to uphold his performance on the field. You feel me? But he's also taking the time to, again, be a good Christian man and also be a good husband and elevate his wife. He is elevating that woman. He wants to pray with her. He wants to do things with her, spend time with her. That man will never, ever cheat on Ciara. And if he does, I will cut off my left thumb.
Don't say this.
I'm gonna say it right here, 9/22, April 6, 2022, bro. If he ever cheats on Ciara, I will cut off my left thumb, bro. That's how much faith I have in him, and I'll do it. I promise. I'll go thumbless. I will.
I'll make sure I save this.
Well, Mom, do you have anything else you want to add?
Huh?
And he upgraded. Y'all saw the girl that man was without the draft, bro. You're like, oh my god. Oh my god. I ain't never seen such a cracker.
All right. You got way too much dip on your chip, my boy.
It's the Long Island, bro. I'm on my second.
Way too much dip on your chip, my boy.
Yeah, Shorty had to go. Shorty upgraded. Russell Wilson upgraded for sure. But yeah, she had to go. But you got anything else you want to add, Bumble?
What did you say?
You have anything else you want to add?
No, that's about it.
All right, that's all I got for the sports segment this episode. I'm going to pass it over to Carl Lil for the anime segment. We'll be right back.